Okay. Hi, I'm Lindsay O'Neill. My presentation is going to take a sharp departure in more ways than one, because first off, it's dinosaur themed, because why not? It started with the concept life finds a way, and it morphed into a lot of Jurassic Park memes, so I apologize in advance. And also, I'm here to represent the distance learning section, so I've got this dual role as both an instructional design librarian that I help faculty redesign their courses, and I've also redesigned a couple courses myself, and I'm currently teaching full-time online for a Master of Science in Instructional Design program. Okay, so this is all about my learning experiences. Let's not call them failures, because we all learn best from when we make mistakes. All right. Oh, and AER, if you're not familiar, is affordable educational resources versus open. So affordable is things like library ebooks, very affordably priced textbooks, things like that. Okay. So I'm at a large regional university in Southern California. It's Cal State Fullerton. We have a fantastic online instructional design program. I'll probably slip and use the abbreviation MSIDT for our program. That's the full abbreviation. It's a completely online 2-year program, uses a cohort model, and we are a growing program. We have about 150 students total. So about me, I started teaching for this program in 2016 part-time on the side while I was a full-time instructional design librarian. Of course, I was the liaison to this program as well, and I worked a lot with the faculty to adopt library ebooks and some OER as they're redesigning the program to be completely affordable. Thanks to California's generous funding, I'm sorry. But it's been great for us. We had some grant money for the faculty to redesign their courses. And our director of the program is very on board with making this program fully affordable for our students. So now I'm a full-time faculty in the program. I've co-redesigned one course and redesigned another course by myself, and it is so much work. So I'm here to give you the instructor perspective on what it actually looks like when you're using AER or OER in your class. That's okay. All right, so as I said, we went fully affordable over a couple of years, 2016, 2017, and there's not a lot out there for graduate programs as far as actual open educational resources. That's a big challenge for us. And we've had a bit of a learning curve in figuring out what we can use from the library and what works really well as far as our pedagogy goes. This is my exaggeration slide. We redesigned the entire program, but did we stop to think if we should? I'll follow up on that in just a minute. Okay, so these are some of the books I use in the courses that I teach. I will leave it to you to figure out which one is the open textbook. So yeah, these are fantastic books. The 3 on the left are library ebooks. They are wonderful. The students really like 2 of them. The one on the far left, they don't love so much, but it is really useful. And of course, the one on the right is an open textbook, and it's really handy. We only use a chapter out of it, but you can remix it because it's OER, and that's super. So my 2 learning experiences that I want to share with you, and I've got a couple of takeaways at the end here, is that number 1, I've really found technology and copyright to be an obstacle for students in the learning experience using AER and OER. And my second big learning experience is it's all about the pedagogy versus the formats that you are really choosing. Okay, so let me elaborate. All right, so one of the things we teach is e-learning development in our program, and we have students flowchart out their potential e-learning, so I thought I'd do a flowchart of how to read a library ebook. The light pink box in the middle says, "Student complains to professor." As you can see, this is, it's not a good time, and they have to repeat this pretty much every time they read the book. Anyways, so the second flowchart, how to read an open textbook. Look at that. No complaints. There's no box for student complains to professor because it just works. Go figure. What kind of a improved learning experience that students have for that over the library ebooks. And I love library ebooks. I love them. Thank you, Anne. Yay! Look, it's like seeing your first dinosaur. It just works. All right, so ideally all of our textbooks would be open, but don't worry, your students and faculty will find a way. So we have this fantastic book, Leaving Addie for Sam. It's a library ebook. Remember the complicated flowchart. Don't worry, students, that are successful in figuring out how to use it. This is a Slack screenshot. She figured out how to finally download the PDF of this, and she helpfully shared it with all of her classmates. So this is really interesting. This is a back channel. I'm actually a part of the Slack team because my students are working in groups, and I made them add me to their Slack channels. And so they know I'm there, and they're just putting the PDFs up. Another instructor uses this book. It's also a library ebook. And the instructor herself, right there at the bottom, helpfully uploaded the PDF to her course. Because over summer there's problems, so here's the PDF, but oddly the other one she didn't upload. This is really typical. One of the courses I redesigned had, I think, 3 PDFs of 3 library ebooks in it. And of course, I'm a librarian. I can't put those out there into my course for my students, even though I would love to not have the ethics that I do. They find a way. All right, so my second learning experience as an instructor is it's really more about the pedagogy. I'll give you a couple of quick examples. I hope I'm still on time. My phone shut off. Who knows? Okay, good. Thanks. The first one, we have a graphic design module as part of our e-learning development. Our students learn real basic graphic design because that's important to making an effective tutorial. Originally, they used this awesome book. Has anyone ever used this book? I love this book. It's a great book. I highly recommend it. It's relatively affordable. I say it's light and fluffy, but it's really effective. It's about $25, but again, we're trying to go affordable, so we replaced it with the library ebook. This library ebook, it was pretty terrible, is what we found at the time. As you're trying to revise your courses, it's a lot of work, as you all know, to find things to replace what you already use. Students hated this book. They hated this book. It was not a good book. So what happened is I ended up finding these online free graphic design tutorials, and they are all really short videos. They're very professional. They are free. They're not OER, but they're affordable because they're free online from this, I think it's a nonprofit, GCFlearnfree.org. I never quite figured out who they are, but they have really fantastic modules on there. And what's nice is it also incorporates a bit of a universal design as far as there's multiple formats for students to interact with the content. It comes both as a video with illustrations and also text. So that's really nice. Students loved this. It was way shorter than the super dense, thick, terrible ebook. And it's probably shorter than the original book too, and students, they really love this. They got a lot out of it. They really got the concepts a lot more quickly. Second example, we had this book, Multimedia for Learning. It is a classic in the field of instructional design. It is also out of print and is very dated, and we needed to get rid of it. So as an example of failing as an instructor, we originally had 4 chapters assigned from this book. We replaced it with 8 chapters from this book, which is a library ebook. So again, remember the flow chart? Students already struggled to get into the book, and then we assigned them 8 chapters. They were not happy. It was a lot of reading. It was too much, and it wasn't actually well aligned to what we needed to teach them. So this is a screenshot of my student opinion questionnaires. Those forms students fill out at the end of the semester. I think it's probably pretty unusual to get a 1.5 pages of comments back. All of the highlighted words are things like too much work, too many assignments, too much reading, heavy-handed, overwhelmed. Yeah, you don't want to see that when you're a lecturer. And basically your yearly evaluation rests pretty solidly on what the students think of your class. So that's my student opinion questionnaire. It's the little officer. That's me. I have to turn those things in when I do my evaluation every year. That's super. So what I'm doing right now, I'm teaching this course right now, is I am still using the library ebook. It's still a good book. It's my fault as an instructor. When we redesigned the course, we assigned too much. Now I just did 2 chapters, and I added a job aid. A job aid is just, a 1 or 2 sheet thing that has, perfect. Okay, I got 1 more minute. A job aid is just something that is kind of like a quick reference sheet or how to do something. So I added a job aid that had the main principles I wanted them to learn. Super effective. So if students want to learn more about this, they Google it. There's information out there. And this became an active learning assignment rather than a really passive, boring reading assignment. Students are actually constructing their own knowledge now because they're exploring on their own rather than me forcing 8 chapters on them. We'll see how it goes. I think it'll go much better. All right, so my big takeaways that I suggest for you have 3. First one is to go active. That means look for active learning assignments and short text videos, a variety of formats, rather than replacing text with more text. This is a good opportunity to improve your pedagogy, as I learned the hard way. And the second bullet point, I encourage you to resist the urge to overcompensate. I think that as an instructor and as a librarian, we want to make sure we're covering everything, right? So if we're going open or affordable, we end up giving them too much, and that was a really big problem. The students were not happy. Okay, so courses go open. Open is better than the affordable. The problem is with graduate level courses is that there's not a lot out there, but hey, we're instructional designers. We're practicing instructional design. This is an infographic one of my students made for a new assignment that I gave them. It's an infographic about behavior, different learning principles, and this is an opportunity to do some open pedagogy as far as having students maybe construct the materials they could use in future courses. Teach them about Creative Commons, maybe have these things used for future courses. And students take a lot of pride in helping out other students, so I think this is something that they might like to do. All right, last suggestion, please go slowly. So as an instructor, I ask you to go slowly, and as a librarian, I'm learning this the hard way too. Suggest changing a little bit at a time with your faculty, maybe an assignment at a time. They don't have to do the whole course at once, that's crazy. And be patient and empathetic, because if it goes wrong, it can go very wrong. So that's it, thank you.